In a shocking turn of events, it turns out Warner Brothers doesn't understand how to build off of success. This week, we're breaking down the questionable decision by WB to make the sequel to a successful single-player game a live service one. This is the Good Game, Bad Game podcast.
This is a song I wrote about the Good Game, Bad Game podcast. Good Game, Bad Game podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Good Game, Bad Game podcast. I'm your host, Spencer, and with me is a man who believes the 1984 Dune is the one true Dune. It's my co-host, Mike. Mike, how are you?
Did they make a movie in 1984, or is it just the book?
There is a book called 1984.
Well, yes, I'm
What
familiar.
So was that the question?
What is 1984 Doom?
That was a movie.
Dune.
That's when the first movie. Wait.
Yeah.
No, hang on.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah. There was a Dune movie made in 1984.
Okay. Was it good?
I said first movie, and I just want to be clear. I in no way think it is related to either of the Dunes that have come out in the past 5 years. When did when did Dune Part 1 come out?
2020.
Not 1984. Just to be clear. Yeah, they made a Dune movie in 1984. I think it's dog shit. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. But it's not related to the current Dune.
Same source material. I believe that's it.
Oh, so it is related.
I don't know what's happening. This feels like it's backfired on me somehow.
It kind of has.
Like I've How you been? How was your week in games?
Oh my God, Patrick Stewart was in it. Sting is in it. I gotta watch this.
The singer or the wrestler?
Are you telling me there's a difference?
I don't think they're related, though maybe same source material.
Have you ever seen him in the same room at the same time?
No, but...
Have you ever seen him in the same fields of gold at the same time?
No. But...
Do you think they had the popcorn buckets in 1984?
Do I think they had just just popcorn buckets in general in 1984? Yes.
No, you know what popcorn buckets I'm talking about. Don't play stupid.
No, I don't think they did. I don't think probably a huge missed opportunity too, because I feel like, people in the 80s would have gone crazy for it. I feel like movie theaters,
weird.
They didn't take advantage of like what's it called when you like do that? when you have
I don't think I do.
like a thematic water bottle for you to drink out of because you bought tickets to a specific movie. What's
like
that called?
Novelty?
Yeah. Like I don't think they baked movie branding into novelty items in the 80s enough. At least like while going to the movie theater. I think they actually overdid it outside of, because I feel like you could find a branded like anything for any movie probably from the 80s, but not when you actually went to see the movie. Bro, what the fuck are we talking about?
I've got at least one more question. And I really feel like I need the community support on this one.
This is my biggest mistake.
There is something in Dune called spice.
Mm-hmm.
There is something in Star Wars called spice. And I think they're both insinuated to be like drugs.
Yeah.
How do they get away with both calling it spice? Right, because George Lucas isn't involved anymore.
It's a fair question. Man, I don't know. I mean, I was just saying to Shelby, I think the greatest way of leading into anything like fantasy is just to like stick a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Sure.
Just to like totally like throw off expectations. But with that said, like milk exists in Star Wars, and that's pretty fucking dumb.
Hmm.
Did that answer your question?
I don't think so.
I feel like there's other similarities, like sand. I feel like there's a lot of sand in both Dune and Star Wars.
And sand people.
So, what games did you play this past week?
I had one other questions, but I think we'll save it for later.
This
and
is-
it'll be put in our lost tapes once we finally shut this show down.
Oh man! Speaking of shutting the show down, terrible segue, but I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that personally, work has been kicking my ass, but from an outside lens, work has definitely been kicking your ass. So, apologies if to the dear listeners if this episode ends up being a little shorter or not our best because
Incoherent. What are you saying?
Because well, I'm just saying, you know, like this is the struggle of being a small time creator. You know,
Yeah.
we got to pump this episode out.
Yeah.
I mean, we've
We
released
could have
episodes
just not done an
before.
episode.
Yeah, but that's
You know
no.
how many times I see people who do podcasts and say, "Sorry guys, I'm tired. I'm not doing a podcast this week." And everyone's like, "Oh, okay. Take time for yourself." Like, we don't get that.
Yeah.
God forbid.
Yeah. I wonder why that is. Get to the bottom of why people don't care about us. I made a note.
Appreciate it.
Um,
So you asked what I played this week.
yes.
So you're gonna love this. There was an update to Cyberpunk.
Okay.
when Phantom Liberty came out.
Yes.
This is not new.
Okay. Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
new. That added metros. You familiar?
No. Why do I feel like I didn't know this?
Okay, well, I'm not going to feel as bad then because you're more of a dumbass than I am. So, Cyberpunk added metros. And when I played Phantom Liberty, I went and checked one out because it was my impression that you could like physically get on them and ride them and it would be a whole experience.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went into it and to me it looked like it was just another way to fast travel. And I said, why would I do this? This already existed. And I decided, I think I saw an article about Cyberpunk and somebody was talking about the metro and like how cool it is that you can ride it and like see the city from a different view. And have PTSD if you've ever ridden the SEPTA. But I was like, weird. I'm gonna go check it out. Like maybe this person modded it, but I want to go find out once and for all. I'm gonna try again. I went to the one of the metro stations in Cyberpunk, and I shit you not, first option says just fast travel.
Mm-hmm.
Then underneath it, but it blends in very much with the like surrounding world. It does say ride metro. And you actually have to look at a map, see where transfers are. Like it puts you on it on the metro, and you sit in a seat. You can look out the window. You can stand by the door. You can go back and forth like you're tweaking out.
Okay.
And it'll actually go stop by stop, and like you have to get off and make transfers and stuff. It's awesome, and I hate that I'm saying that.
So, hang on.
I've been doing this all week. This
You've
is
just
all
been
I've
riding the
doing all
metro?
week. I've been riding the
Okay.
metro.
So, So tell me, and I feel like I already know what the answer is, but have you like tried to like make a challenge of like I'm going to get from X point to Y point and I'm going to try and hop like lines and stuff like that? And have you like had narrow misses where you're like chasing after the train just as it leaves?
Well, it doesn't like it takes off whenever you want it to. Like you don't have to wait for a train.
This is upsetting.
Yeah. Yeah, they that was the one thing that really just sucked the authenticity out of it. Um, but I think the last I talked to you about playing Cyberpunk, I'm going around and doing all the police scanners,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm starting to get sadder and sadder every time I clear out a neighborhood because it's like the last thing I have to do in the game.
I completely understand.
There are like some achievements I need to do, like I don't know, you have to like kill people by shooting a grenade out of the air, like 5 people. I'm like, I don't know how I'm ever gonna do that. Like I've been playing this game for 180 something hours. The fact that I haven't done it yet probably means I'm never gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I'm going through the map and it's like I'm getting to the end here. But now it's great because I'm only driving when I absolutely have to. Other than that, I'm just taking the metro.
Oh my god.
Little known fact about me, I'm a fiend for public transportation in
Hell
real
yeah.
life.
Hell yeah.
I love it. And so this is just like, I honestly, even when I complete these NCPD scanners, I'm just going to make a little commute for myself. I'll do it every day. Give me my fill of the city now that I don't live in one anymore. Great.
I love it. I love it. I can't believe I completely missed it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll have to catch a train sometime.
I'm gonna have to catch a train sometime.
It is, for what it's worth, a really cool, um, like just, I mean, the Cyberpunk map is gorgeous
Mm-hmm.
and it's so cool. There's so many nuanced things. It's actually a really cool way to like see it from a different angle, not like absorbed in buildings.
Sure. Yeah. No. I'm honestly surprised that like it wasn't something that they had from the jump.
Yeah. I guess it just, I know people modded the game pretty quickly to add it.
Yep.
Um, yeah, it's cool they listened and actually built it in. Like it's such a small thing, but so many people appreciated it, myself included.
Yeah, it's a really nice detail for for making a city to make it feel even more alive. I mean, hell, GTA
Yeah.
5 had it.
Right.
So
Yeah, catching like the 2-stop underground thing they had.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
there was something fun about it.
Yeah. I mean, like in GTA at least it was dumb and not actually that all that effective, but it was the novelty of it, right? Like again, it
Yeah.
just made it that much more. It made it feel that much more real. You know, it's such a nice touch, and the fact that you even took the time to try it once to be like, will this actually work? And then it does. It's just like, fuck yeah, that's a win. That's a huge win.
Mm-hmm.
So that's neat. That's actually really neat. I actually might need to re-download Cyberpunk to be able to ride the old T.
Yeah. Yeah. It's it brings back some fond memories.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. The Boston T. Does the monorail ever catch on fire?
Well, I don't know, but the monorails never had a party thrown for it.
All right, fair play.
I expected a better laugh.
All right, so some Cyberpunk, some
The
riding
Boston Tea, Spencer.
I get it.
Boston
I
Tea
get
Party.
it.
Holy Christ, you lived there for 4 years.
Listen, I dabbled with going to convenience stores, buying some Lipton tea packets and dumping those in.
I didn't want you to commit an environmental crime, Spencer. I just
I
wanted you to appreciate the joke.
There is no amount of pollution I will shy away from for the bit, and to show those posh Brits what's what.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
You rode the T in Cyberpunk. What else did you play? Anything else? Anything fun?
Um,
Anything actually fun?
I told you about the game Boomerang Foo, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we were at some friends this weekend, um, staying at their house, and they were it was my one friend's birthday, and then it was also their baby shower.
Happy birthday.
Yep, happy birthday, Sam. If you're listening. And he had like a projector set up and everything, and he had a switch on there, and we had told them about this game candidly because we thought there was like online multiplayer. But it is literally like a studio of three guys in Australia, three people in Australia. I don't know if they're all guys, but three people in Australia making this game. So of course there's no online, but they still got it and they still play it themselves and love it. Well, you can have up to 6 people playing, and he like he had his he had his Switch there, he had his PS4 there. He had a friend to bring like an Oculus and a PS5. It was supposed to be this big game night. All we did was play that one game and everyone loved it. Most people, except for like me and Sam, nobody else had ever played it.
That's
And there was something
awesome.
super satisfying about that. Like this little $14 game. Now there's like 5 or 6 other people who are going to buy it now. And everyone loved it.
That's so sick. I love that. I love like we're gonna have a dedicated game night and then playing one game.
Yeah. And there were like people who had never done VR, people who had never played PS5 or seen PS5. And it's just like everyone wanted to play like a familiar party game where everybody could play it. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
how many games do most people have where like 6 people can play on PS5? Then you obviously can't do that on VR.
Right. No, yeah, it's a
Just
great point.
more couch co-op, less live service.
Oh, little.
Yeah, a little early, but
little-
we'll swing it back later. I just wanted to get it out there.
That's fun. Yeah.
Tell me about your game.
Nothing beats like party games.
Yeah, need more of them.
Yeah. Agreed. Anything else?
That was my week.
Very nice. MLB The Show comes out in 2 days.
Ruh-roh.
I know. So one day, well, if you are on PlayStation and buy the premium,
I won't.
if you're on Xbox, you only would have to pay the difference. Or if you're on Game Pass, if you have Game Pass, right, you would only have to pay the difference for the premium. Right?
Correct.
Isn't that how it works?
Usually.
Yeah. So if that's the case, either way, so you would have to pay a premium to be able to play it 3 days early. And I'm doing it. So I've just been getting real hyped for that, and also trying to finish up some games before that comes. One of which is Ghostwire Tokyo.
How's that?
I keep describing it as like Doctor Strange, the video game, because you're just constantly doing like cool hand things and then like shooting magic out of it.
I love that.
That's and that's like an overly simplistic way of like of comparing it to something, but like you're like constantly like cleansing like demons and stuff, and literally like you will make like a triangle with your analog stick, and the way he does it feels very reminiscent of Doctor Strange. Anyway, it's a lot of fun though. I'm really enjoying it, and the story is pretty interesting. You're just running around grabbing spirits, trying to stop a big baddie who's trying to basically bank spirits in order to try and bring back one person from the dead. So it's interesting, and the gameplay is pretty good. So it's been fun.
I have it downloaded. Just haven't played it yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of those things where it's like, I I'd recommend it. I think.
Yeah.
It's different, right? Like I think that's kind of like the fun thing about it. I I'm sure there is, but like I can't think of a game that's like super recent that I've played. Like the closest thing to this that I've played recently, and it's been now like 4 years since I've played it, is probably Control. And that's like only top of mind for me right now because friend of the show Austin has been playing that. Um but yeah, I really don't feel like I've played too many games that are like it. So that's also kind of nice. Especially since it feels like so many games are just like so closely related to another game that has released and that you've probably played recently. So,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I've played Outer Wilds for my 100 platinums challenge, but that was a game that I've actually like been wanting to play. Which is not most of the games that I've been playing for that challenge. So that was really refreshing and fun. And there's this trophy in that game where you need to like manually land on this like station that's like rotating around the sun, which is super fucking hard. And I had to do it twice, once for the PS4 version, once for the PS5 version. And both times when I got it, it was like one of the most satisfying things I've done in a game in a very long time. And the game itself, a little too smart for me, to be honest, but a lot of fun. So another one
that's
I'd recommend.
been on my list forever. It's one of those games I have like 4 copies downloaded for various systems. Still haven't played.
Yeah, it's a game that you would definitely enjoy. All in all, probably would only take like 20-ish hours. And the nice thing about it is that each cycle lasts 22 minutes. So like if you're committed, it's like, you can do, if you have an hour, you can do 3 cycles and try and like learn a good bit from those 3 cycles.
Right.
So you know what I mean? It's like easy to pick up and to like not have to like dedicate a ton of time to it. Which was nice. But yeah. Other than that, I really don't think I've been playing anything else of note. So let's get to the news.
Sure. Let's do it.
Before we talk about our like headline, first, Xbox had a partner preview last week. I think a week ago, as of today, as of you and I recording this. So, personally, for the partner preview, one, I love that this one happened when it did because it happened after both Sony. I guess Sony's technically wasn't a partner preview, but it had like a lot of games that technically aren't just like, it was a majority of things that aren't just going to be on PlayStation. And like Nintendo had one as well. And so this was really nice to just like, you're so prepared for what's going to be shown. So with that said, I don't really have too much to like bring up in regards to it, but I know you said you had one thing that you wanted to call out.
Yeah, really just one thing that kind of caught my attention is the Stalker trilogy
Yep.
getting re-released. I've been very interested in Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl, but I haven't played any other games, but I've heard they're very good. Um, so I was really excited to see that, and it launched like that day.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't know is if it's on Game Pass or not. Not seem like it.
I don't see it in the announcement.
Like, fine.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've really only heard, I feel like, good things about the Stalker games. So, um, it's nice to see. I know I saw the update from like PlayStation announcing it afterwards, like saying like it's going to be available on the PlayStation Store later today and whatnot, um, which is exciting.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, very cool to see. Other thing that's like Xbox related, I don't know if you saw about this. Sea of Thieves was apparently like the highest or like the hottest pre-order on PlayStation.
All right.
Which is pretty cool to see, right? Um like if Xbox is going to do this, right? If Xbox is going to like take the time to realize where certain games may benefit from being put onto other consoles, I want to see those games, like I want to see it pay off, right? Like at the, if you're going to take that jump. So to see Sea of Thieves sitting at the top, to know people are excited for it, it's really exciting, that hopefully that means that the move works out. But I think it's also really exciting for like, that's Rare, right? Who makes it?
Yes. Sorry, I had to think about it.
No, you're good. I mean, like that, and like like I hope Grounded does extremely well too. Like, people work really hard on these types of games, and if they can benefit from having a larger player base because of like the nature of the game, ultimately I think that's cool. So that being said, like Helldivers, right? I know it's already on PC, but like I would love if it got put on Xbox and Switch. I think it would be able
Why
to
not?
run on Switch like perfectly fine. There's no reason not to. Like it's a game that like is super community driven. Like there are these major orders that you're supposed to complete as an entire like gaming community. It would be fucking awesome to find ways to get more people in and playing the game, helping out, helping to spread democracy. Um, so it's stuff like that. It's like those types of games. And I know we talked about it probably back in January when we first like started to broach the topic, and then like it comes out that Xbox is like seriously considering that. And it's like there are just certain games where it really really makes sense. And then I was even saying that there are other franchises that I really don't understand, like Horizon putting everything on it to make it stay on just you know PlayStation. Yeah, you put it on PC as well, but yeah. So again, seeing Sea of Thieves sit at the top and knowing that like yeah, there are a lot of people who wanted to play it, and for whatever reason, like the main hangup was that they didn't have an Xbox and they weren't willing to get an Xbox to play Sea of Thieves. But knowing now that they're going to be able to play it, they're all in, and I think that's a positive. So that was exciting to see.
Yeah, and that game is, I don't know, 5, 6 years old.
I was gonna say at least four, right?
Yeah,
I
and you're
mean,
getting an inflow of new people. Like you want, I don't know. I just it's I think gonna bring so much life into the game.
yeah, yeah, and I saw people like have shitty takes where they're like, oh, why would I get an Xbox if Xbox is just beta testing? It's like I don't know what beta test lasts 4, 5, 6 years, but like that's the clear value still, right? Like is being able to play these things on day one. But whatever, we don't have to get into it.
Or on Game Pass, you know.
Exactly.
If that's your take, then yeah, just get a PlayStation, whatever.
If you can
That's
wait,
really the hill you want to die on.
right? If you can wait the time, then like yes, you will maybe win out in the end. There's no guarantees they're going to do this with any other games. So, um, or any specific games. I'm sure they'll continue to do it, especially if it works out.
Yeah.
But yeah, saw that, thought that was really cool, and yeah, it made me happy. Now let's talk about something that doesn't make me happy. Warner Brothers.
Boo.
Yeah, get them. Get them. Potentially one of the worst companies? Is that fair? That's probably a really fucked up thing to say because there's probably like a million
It's not
companies.
Boeing, but
There's probably,
I don't know
well,
if a whistleblower has killed himself yet.
is everybody is? Can somebody check on Will Forte?
My God, I haven't seen anything with him in it in forever.
Well, yeah, and you're not
Not a
going to
good sign.
see Acme versus Wile E. Coyote either. Will Forte was supposed to be in that, and then they scrapped it for a tax break. I think that was that's Warner Brothers. Anyway, they also and this isn't uniquely Warner Brothers, but I think it's like so perfect that it's them of all people pulling this stunt. There's an article that's been going around, and the one that I'm specifically referencing is Forbes. I don't know technically who broke it first, but basically Warner Brothers learned nothing from how Hogwarts Legacy, which was, I would say, very successful, regardless of your personal, like, regardless of personal feelings around Harry Potter and the source material and all that stuff. The game still was a commercial success for Warner Brothers. And their thought process is, what if we make a sequel? Thoughts?
Good.
Okay. You like that? You like a sequel?
Yeah.
Okay. You promise you like a sequel? No
I
takebacks.
like the sequel. I want
Okay.
nothing more than a refined Hogwarts Legacy.
Cool. We're going to make it a live service game.
Ah.
No, you said you liked the idea.
I did, but that's before I knew it was a live service.
What an insane
No
thought
disrespect.
process. What an insane thought process. I don't get it. I do not get it. I don't get like like what was one of the things that was said that like there's no guarantees. It's like, yeah, the standalone single player game that moved 20 million copies in a year and beat out Call of Duty as, quote, not guaranteed, and that it's a, quote, volatile market. So you know what's not volatile in any way whatsoever? You know what is always a continuous success? Live service games. Real quick, Mike,
I'm gonna
give
fall into
me
this again.
give me a live check-in. How is Anthem doing?
What's an anthem? Like party rock?
No, the game.
Um,
Come on, you remember Anthem.
I remember Anthem.
It's
I
still
remember
doing-
I remember the trailer for Anthem.
Right, and you were probably really excited for it because it looked like you were going to be Iron Man, right? But you could play Iron Man with your friends who are also Iron Man, and that game's still
Sure.
doing really well,
It
right?
can only be one, but sure. Yeah, it's doing fantastic. Still alive.
Okay.
I think it's still on Game Pass.
Yeah, definitely not dead whatsoever.
Nope.
Cool. And Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League.
Fantastic game.
That's still doing really well, right?
Yep.
Like the live peak of players is still at an all-time
Mhm.
high.
Yep.
Okay.
That's all we do is chase ATHs.
Man, this isn't helping me because I'm trying to think of other live servicey type games that aren't doing
Kombat.
well. Mortal Kombat that's got to be doing well still. What
No,
about
because it's not live service.
what about multiverses? That didn't
The
randomly
LeBron James game.
yeah, that didn't randomly shut down and then say that it's okay, it's going to re-release, full release. You've been playing a beta this whole time. And that's going to re-release in a year or so, which actually we are coming up on. It is about to release again.
Were they calling the players betas?
Yes, they were.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Um,
And beta shouldn't have opinions on live service.
right. What I just can't figure out what the actual thought process is other than we believe we'll be able to we see it as this is an IP that a lot of people love. So much like because there was a solid public outcry against Hogwarts Legacy. And it still sold really well, right? And it's because people are going to still buy something that they identify with or that they just simply love, right? Like an IP that they simply love. And I think they saw that and are like, we can just bank on these dumb Harry Potter nerds to do it again. And if we find a way to bake in microtransactions, they'll pay for those too.
I'm not going to lie.
Uh-oh.
I'm not going to lie. If this is literally just Hogwarts Legacy, but they make you pay $57,000 a semester to play, I'll shit my pants.
Ultimate Gambit.
So you're like, you idiots paid to do this in real life.
That would be
do it again.
That would be pretty funny. Bleak, but funny. Right, that's got to be it, right? Like they see it as like it's like the whole thing where it's like finding a way to you have 100 people, right? And they all pay $15 for a subscription. And you go, okay, we're gonna up it to 20 because in your head you're like, yeah, we're gonna lose some people, but as long as we only lose like 10 people, we're making more money. And that's what it feels like to me. It feels like we'll gamble on the number of people we lose from outright buying the game because we believe we'll catch the whales who are going to pay the on top of costs that are the microtransactions. That's an insane thought process. I don't know. Has there ever been a game that released and then a sequel, which I guess technically this may not be a direct sequel. I think they're technically saying that they would just make a Hogwarts Legacy game that is a live service, or it would just be basically they're saying that they would be using the Harry Potter IP. So it's not necessarily that it would be a direct sequel to the first game. But I guess have we ever seen something like that where like a game released and then the sequel was made to be live service?
Rainbow Six.
Does that count?
I don't know. It's the first thing that came to mind.
I mean, that is a good call. Like it utilized an IP and just turned the IP into the mainline title, the next mainline sequel title, whatever.
Yeah, but I guess in the argument against Rainbow Six being a good case, like there had already been a couple, a dozen games that had existed already, and they were looking for a way to refresh it.
Yeah.
So I think, like to your argument, has there ever been like a blockbuster first in a line game where they decided to make the sequel live
service?
Oh, live service. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just like imagine if they did that with Uncharted or The Last of Us, right? Like, let's do a newer game that's like closer to the live service era, right? Like, imagine Last of Us 2 is a live service game. That would fucking suck.
Yeah.
That would be terrible. That'd be the worst thing that could happen to The Last of Us outside of a golf club.
Yeah. Yeah. And at some point, that's the worst thing that's happening inside of The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's strange. I think Warner Brothers just had like a leadership shakeup too. And now this leadership was going, the whole Jim Ryan route of more live service. Um,
And
I don't know.
and like I feel like it's like one of those things too. Like I think we were saying it when PlayStation made this like, yeah, you know what? We're gonna be committed to live service. And it's like that sounds like a terrible idea. Like, I'm not saying live service is innately bad. I think like saying, you know what, we're gonna try and dip into this thing, sure. I don't I don't knock anybody for it. But we've gotten inundated with it. And then like Sony's plan was like, oh, we're gonna make 6 in the next 3 years. It's like, what the fuck are you thinking? What? How does that make any sense whatsoever? The idea of a live service game is life it. Like that is your game.
Mm-hmm.
Because the idea is that there is so much to try and obtain that like this is the only thing that I need to put out to keep your attention. And then as soon as somebody else tries to steal your attention, that's when I give you an update to keep you in my game. That is I feel like the strategy and what you should be aiming for with a live service game. And I feel like so many people have tried to make this jump into live service that people get pulled into so many different directions that none of them succeed. Outside of the few that have been going strong.
And it's kind of funny. It feels like the ones that are going strong were the ones that weren't outright like, yes, this is a live service game.
Right.
You look at Sea of Thieves, for example, like I don't think it was initially pitched to be a live service game. It was just supposed to be a big multiplayer game. But at the base, they made a really good multiplayer game.
Yeah.
And with that came interest in more content. I just don't like. Yes, they have the base of a good game in Hogwarts Legacy, but for them to just say, like, hey, now it's a live service, like, they should have come out with Hogwarts Legacy 2 and abstracted the idea that it would become a live service game and then just start adding those features, like, add the ability for people to play the game together first and then include microtransactions for people who really want more content. That strategy, I'm mostly okay with.
Mm-hmm.
Because it all constitutes it has to be built off of making a good base game that can be played without the content for at least a certain period of time. I don't know.
I just can't see it as anything other than an attempt to try and like bleed a few suckers. This has the servers are shutting down after a year written all over it.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Like again, the ones that have like you said, the ones that have done it the best haven't like innately been the death by 1,000 cuts type. Right? Like Destiny 2. Granted, tail end here, people seem to not be overly happy, but they're still talking about it, and there's still plenty of people playing it.
Right.
That game came out in 2017. That game came out before we graduated college.
Yep.
Warframe. Like, what was the event? Was it summer or the Game Awards had Warframe content announced during it? What?
When did that game even? Was that like a
That was a
early
PS.
PS4 game?
Yes, I think that was a PS4
I, th-
launch.
I think you're right. I think it was. I don't know if it was free just from the start or if it was
It
free if you had
was.
PlayStation Plus or something.
Oh, you know what? Okay, you might be right. I thought it was free from the start.
Yeah, I remember this. That's crazy.
You know, and then obviously you have like your Apexes.
Sure.
I mean, hell, No Man's Sky, I think kind
Yeah.
of unintentionally became a live service game by
Yeah,
just
save that game.
by constantly just feeding you new content, right? To keep you coming back to it, to give you a reason to play that game.
Yeah,
And like you
I
said,
don't think
saved it.
Yeah, I don't think we're saying that live service is inherently bad.
It's not. It's clearly not.
But when it becomes your business strategy,
Yes.
that's when it gets bad. And it's frustrating when you see like Warner Brothers, for example. They've I think in my opinion, since they've gotten into video games, have always been more corporate compared to like, Ubisoft in earlier days or hell even EA to some extent, like a long time ago.
Hmm.
But like it's just the corporatization of video games, and they're putting out these products that look good on a balance sheet, but nobody wants.
Yeah, 100.
I
I
just
mean, 100%.
I don't understand this perpetual cycle of corporate people saying, "Let's make this game that nobody wants and provide it to them in a format that nobody asked for." Let's just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. It's not that hard to see like what model has worked, and that's make a good game first, monetize it later. I don't know.
No, I mean, 1,000%. But let's keep in mind, these are the same people who took HBO, which had amazing name brand value, took it, made it HBO Max. Okay. All right. I can get behind it. HBO to the max. I get it. Whatever. And now it's called Max. What?
Yeah.
Oh, let me go watch that Max original Game of Thrones. If I said that on the street, I would get attacked and I would deserve it.
Indeed.
That is these are the stunts that they pull. And it's so frustrating. It's really frustrating. That it's those things, right? Cuz you said it, right? Like live service isn't innately bad. I think it gets a bad rap. We did a whole episode about it. Go listen to it. It was a good one. They get a bad rap, and they aren't necessarily innately bad. They don't have to be bad. But you can see the writing on the wall in so many of the situations, and it's because the people who now want to get into live service, they hear live service and they're like their cartoon eyes turn into dollar signs.
Mm-hmm. Just like Bugs Bunny.
Yeah. And and yeah, it's more so frustrating. It's frustrating that they literally have a fucking gift, which is that people are willing to just like move past whatever because it has the name Harry Potter tied to it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just gonna fumble it. We talked about it before we even started recording, but I would like to change my answer. This is what people will look back on and say was the greatest bag fumble of all time.
They very well may.
All
time.
All timer. This is an all timer.
Nothing above, nothing below.
Yep. I'm interested to see what continues to come from this, if it actually happens, or if they like wise up and realize that it would be a pretty bad idea. With a game like this, you can't convince me you aren't just better off selling the game at a $70 price point now, to easily 20 million people, because that's what you did for the first game. If not, you'll if not sell it to more with a sequel. And with the sequel, I don't know, add in like Quidditch. And then I don't know. I don't know how the first game fully worked because I played, I feel like 2 hours of it, and then I started trying to get 100 platinums. But yeah, I don't know. You have the sequel be you play a year, and then $30 DLC that is a quarter of the size of, if that, of the base game, and you just get a bunch of new story missions, and you just call it year 2 or some shit, and you really phone it in. That would make you, I bet, more money than trying to do a live service game.
Yeah.
With something like this, right? Like with a known IP and stuff like that, that's the better move. If Sony thought making a God of War live service game was the next best move for God of War, like, you're an insane person.
Mm-hmm.
You're better off. I mean, they gave a free DLC away where they made it a roguelite. So that's fucking awesome. But you could have fucking monetized that if you really were like that cash starved and hungry, and people would have paid for it.
Yeah.
But whatever. What do we know? We're just dumb gamers. Non-derogatory in this sense.
In this.
Don't get me started on gamers derogatory.
No, we said we weren't doing it.
Yeah, I don't know. Any last words on this move? This just seems like a total misreading of a situation.
Yeah. No, not really. Be really interested to see like what any of the like news podcasts that Rooster Teeth have to say about it.
Oh, you mean Rooster Teeth, the subsidiary of Warner Brothers?
Is that right?
Oh, they are gone.
Oh.
And it's gone. Hey, kind of unrelated. Did you ever get around to watching Westworld? That great Max
maybe.
original?
Yeah, great. Yeah, okay. Now you were jogging my memory. You didn't say Max original at first. So
Yeah.
couldn't quite. I watched, I think, either just the first season or the first and second season.
Okay, first season, phenomenal, by the way. But for the bit that I'm going for, you can't watch it anymore.
Oh, I guess I'll never watch it again.
Yeah. So, pretty cool.
What do you have to do? Like go to a Blockbuster video and rent it on VHS?
No, but I think if you go to 123movies.gov .uk, that might have it.
Good to know.
Oh, Warner
See
Brothers.
a red laser with the Warner Brothers logo on my forehead in the middle of the night tonight.
Oh God. They're just...
Or a giant anvil hanging over my door when I go to leave tomorrow.
They hired Wile E. Coyote to carry out a hit on you.
He misses the anvil, and I just start driving to work, and I just see him pull up next to me in a giant red rocket.
But if you say, uh-oh.
Yeah,
but
I said it.
But if you say, meet, you're guaranteed to get away.
Oh, yeah, that's all I need to do.
If you... all you have to do is paint a road over paint a cave into a wall. Yeah. And then you'll waltz through it, but you'll hit it.
Yeah.
Because that's comedy. That's Looney Tunes comedy. All right. Well, that does it.
That's all, folks.
That was great. I ruined that. Can we take that again?
I think you can just cut what I did. I don't know if I got another one of those in there. That's kind of like you pull the trigger and it either goes really well or you fail miserably.
Yeah. Well, it did go really well, but that is it. That'll do it for this episode. This was actually, you know what? I know I said it at the top, but I kind of gave that disclaimer, but I think this was the most fun I've had recording this in a minute.
Yeah. It's the ones that don't matter. Always the best.
God, I hope when I hit stop recording, it doesn't delete. That'll do it for this episode. As always, thank you all so much for listening. We really appreciate it. If you could do us a favor and leave us a rating or review wherever you do listen to the podcast, that would also be greatly appreciated. I hope you really enjoyed this episode. Let us know your thoughts on Warner Brothers' business decisions, specifically taking a successful single-player, narrative-driven game that sold 20 million copies and outsold what is normally the most widely successful game in gaming. It did better than that. And making the sequel for it a live service game. Let us know what you think of that decision. Let us know if there's any single player games that are narrative driven that you would like to see turn into a live service. Ooh, flip it on its head. Other than that, that'll do it. And we'll talk to you next week.